hyped up for this moment. There's a point where you hit, emotionally, where you are too hyped. You almost care too much, and you put too much extra pressure on yourself. It's going to be interesting to see. I think the start of this game is going to be absolutely massive for Strictly Business.
You know what? Neslo, key play for me in this matchup, just as you brought up. It may sound a little strange. Oh, there's no such thing as too much hype. Well, I kind of disagree. I think there is.
I think there is.
There is. You can use too much energy on this first round game. Of course, the winner of this playing Team Caliber, if they win their first round game, so the storylines on that would just be insane.
Right, and something of note, Vic on Boreal going to be using an Amelie, so definitely going to keep an eye on him in the kill feed as this one goes on.
I believe Fizzup as well has an Amelie, so we're going to see some Amelie on Amelie action. And Fizzup has actually just smoked himself and sat basically just behind the smoke so he could just Amelie through it.
Well, we knew Strictly Business had some creative things coming into this. We knew Fizzup was going to pull out some interesting classes, a thermal smoke Amelie, something you kind of expect from him. I remember Columbus Open, a lot of smoke cloak and Amelie he was using.
Cloak, baby.
One thing I want to touch on, I don't know if we'll see it in this series, but we saw it in the online qualifications. The Strictly Business using Danger Close with EMPs and stuns, something they said they were working on. Don't know if we're going to see it here at this event, but something to keep your eye on at home.
So far, no one rocking that. Of course, as you mentioned, we kind of saw that in the qualification, and immediately they were like, hey, that's a hidden Shrek, and you guys kind of keep that on the low. Well, we're here at the North American qualifiers, so we can kind of talk about it, see if we are going to see it. But as I said, doesn't seem like anyone's going to be rocking that right now. Neslo on the hard point on a 4 streak to kick things off. Doing well, playing for his life here, and Strictly Business trying to build themselves a lead.
Yeah, SB doing a really nice job controlling this, and John, a huge part of that. 4-3 right now, not a great score, but still, he's pushing out those cuts with that AK-12, a gun. We've seen a lot of players, when it came out with a new patch, a little bit of an update, they were using a lot of it. This gun, I think, as time goes on, we're going to see more and more AK-12.
Let's see. Yep, John using Gung Ho. I immediately went to check that, see if he's using it. He's been a player who's been a big fan of Gung Ho. Pretty much since the game's come out, not changing anything up here. He's,
well, online it gives you that split-second advantage over somebody else. As soon as you kind of get used to that aim-down sight hitch a little bit, it's a very good perk to use. And John, I think we see him use it a lot. We see Dito, even with the bow, sometimes use that gung-ho perk. So SB always using different classes.
Yeah, that's what makes him so fun to watch at times. They can really do something very unconventional. And speaking of unconventional, Fizzup, a 12-3 start, rocking that Amelie for the first couple of hills. Now pulls out the ASM-1 for this back hard point. Gonna have to challenge someone here. Can he pick up the kill? Yes, he can. Nicely played. Him and Neslo now control the hard point.
Fizzup traditionally always kind of an unorthodox player, always trying different things, and I think Advanced Warfare definitely plays in his favor. I mean, with the EXO abilities and the EXO movement and all the different, guns and attachments that you can use, it definitely plays to his advantage, and I think you've seen that. He had a very good Columbus Open. We haven't really seen much of him since, but at Columbus Open, I remember being very impressed with his movement on the map. And you see Neslo picking up a huge 3-piece right there, trying to lock down that back garage hill. But it's going to go still in contention to Strictly Business as Fizzup's pushing out those cuts.
Fizzup having a great game so far, 16-6, 18 seconds left on this hard point, and you already see one player from SB trying to lock down this rotation. If he can pick up these kills, try and force Boreal to spawn at the opposite side of the map here. But John, they're going to have to track back here. They've given up that hard point, but it's only going to be scrap time. 7 seconds left. This is going to really be the big gunfight. Knight needs to pick up this kill on Fizzup. Goes for the hip fire only.
That's a very far hip fire right there. That was from Knight.
Right, that was kind of, I don't want to say, I mean, he got the kill, obviously, but...
And Feed actually won a 1v1 over there on the hill. He's going to win another gun battle, but he's going to be taken out. And SB doing a good job. You see, as the players from Strictly Business go up until this hill bend, you can see on the minimap, they're pushing all the way to the farthest cut. I think we talk a lot about rotations, and some people get confused. When you rotate...
Look at the smokes, man.
There's so many
smoke out each lane.
Oh, wow. When we talk about rotations, I think a lot of it gets kind of lost as Fizzup just melees Vic, trying to make an amazing play. Fizzup absolutely on fire here. Can he pick up the third? No, he can't. But when you rotate, you want to pick up that furthest cut first. I think a lot of people think, okay, rotation means go directly to the next hill and wait. That's not what it means. You want to push out the farthest cut and cut that team off before they can get to the hill.
Nice plays from Neslo as he breaks that hard point, picks up 2 kills, controls the hill now. 15-10 start for him, but really... just go back to it, Fizzup with 22-8 start. I mean, we haven't even had the full half of rotations yet, and he's dropping big digits.
Well, SB, they're winning the rotation battles, even though they're rotating late, and they're taking tons of time. It's putting Boreal behind the 8 ball because soon the score is going to get to the point where they can't afford to rotate early and they can't afford to give up on garbage time. So you're in a bad situation.
I have a question. Every single hard point so far we've seen Fizzup with the thermal Amelie and the smokes. His teammates drop a smoke as well, so they dual smoke out many cuts and you can just use that thermal. How do you counter that on AW? What is the counter to that?
It's very difficult on Advanced Warfare. I think, personally, I don't know if you really need to counter it too much. I think that the movement is so fast, I think you just need to play aggressive. You see the way Boreal's playing it. They're not actively pushing Fizzer. They're trying to take him out like he's a Val player and just kind of stand there and shoot at him. You need to push him aggressively. The disadvantage of having a LMG is that you're obviously slow. You need to get Fizzer moving. When you can let him post up and just cause chaos like that, definitely, I mean, you're not going to be able to do it. We haven't seen Boreal try and use any nades, any stuns. We haven't seen any use of that out of them. So definitely looking for them to adjust here in the second rotation of Hills.
And the big thing as well is it isn't just the kills Fizzer's picking up. He's picking up so many assists. He's just doing damage to the opposition through the smoke.
He's also delaying pushes. I mean, when you know there's an LMG guy around the corner, you're not just going to run around the corner and try and push that player.
See, this is what makes it interesting, because I was speaking to Theory earlier on. He was going, all right, I'm anticipating to play against Strictly Business. We know that there are teams going to do some
absolutely crushing right now.
That's ridiculous. He was like, we know they're going to do something crazy. I was like, all right, so what's your plan? He's like, we're going to do something just as crazy right back at him.
I mean, I'd love to see it. I think a lot of teams are really hiding their strats for this event. I think you're going to see a lot of things like this, and Strictly Business really setting the tone with it. Up 147 to 63 here against Boreal Esports here. First rotation of Hills went heavily in favor of SB. This is going to be the first hill of the second rotation. So next, we're going to go over to the second hill over by Pipes. You're going to need Boreal to pick up some big time here.
Well, you're going to get that scrap time now. It's just about the rotation. They do have a player over there. It is going to be Knight. Knight's going to see someone mid-cut. Cleans. No, he doesn't, but goes back for it. Actually, doesn't pick up the kill at all there. So, they're those kills which realistically you need to be picking up, Matt.
Right, those are the kills you need. I think the kills on rotation are probably the biggest kills in the game. I mean, you can win every gunfight, just running around the map. I think, sometimes we get too caught up in the stats. We too get caught up in the kills and deaths. I think, if you can get those important kills and go even or even negative, we see so many times players go negative and we say they have a big game, and it's like, everyone's kind of like, why? He went negative. There's a guy who dropped 40. Well, the guy who went negative was able to win 2 or 3 gunfights on a hill that bought his team, 30 to 40 seconds of time.
Boreal trying to come back into this game, 159 to 84-point deficit. Still, obviously, just over 3 minutes to play. Looking at feet on the hard point. He's going to fall. Burt, meanwhile, going to try and push it, but 13 seconds left already. Players from Boreal dropping back towards that next hard point.
Yeah, they're going to try and just play for this garage hardpoint, but so much time is given up already. They're really going to need to win this one and win the next rotation to even make this one a game, Ben.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy.
It's difficult, to be honest.
Especially with Strictly Business and the smoke pushes that we saw on that second to last hardpoint in the last push. Knight, though, jumping into the hardpoint, needs to help his teammate out. There's the first kill. Should find the second. Not going to be able to clean it up, though, and it's Neslo and Fizzer once again so breaking that hardpoint.
Right there, I wasn't a fan of the play that Knight made. He kind of, fell back and rotated back into the hill from the other way. I'd almost have rather had him play aggressive on that side and pick up 1 kill and die than try and go and defend the hill, because then you gave up, the hill entrance to Strictly Business all on that right-hand side, and you can see now you're never going to get control of it back. You're just going to trade the time pretty much for the extended period.
Fizzer about to drop that 40 bomb, looks for the kill. I only managed to hand the assist, but more impressively, look at how even everyone on Strictly Business really is. Neslo almost on 30 kills, John 30 and 26, Dido 30 and 25. This is a team where every one of these players can realistically drop some big digits.
Oh, everybody on this Strictly Business lineup, they have the potential to drop huge numbers. It's just if they're working together and getting along together, and that's really what I think their kind of tournament, their story is all about.
Right. And once again, you see that smoke strategy being used by Fizzer with the Amelie.
But look at how passive they're playing.
I feel like, as well, if you're Boreal, at what point do you have to kind of expect that from Strictly Business? Surely you should make classes to try to counter that.
Right, I think you would kind of know that coming in. You have to do a little bit of research on your team. But you see, Boreal took a really long time to set up that push. They went mid-map, tried to move something from there. They weren't able to get anything going. And now Neslo putting on that aggressive push over on that far left-hand side of the map, going to stop that push. All Strictly Business needs to do now is, to be honest, they just need to rotate, take the, the remaining time in this last hill, and this is a game over.
Vic trying to pick up some kills, not going to happen. Neslo on that top glass area, looking to actually wrap all the way back here and challenge for the last 12 seconds. So 195 to 126, 60 seconds left in the game. Neslo desperately trying to pick up the kill, and of course that is mathematically impossible as well. Strictly Business, pick up map number 1.
Right, I think what went wrong for Boreal here is obviously Fizzer really dominating with that LMG. No adjustments out of them, but I think because they never really adjusted, they started playing so passive. You saw when they were trying to break that top hard point, they all sat in solar and they all sat in the middle pool and they were kind of just waiting and waiting, and I don't think they really wanted to make that push because they knew what was going to happen. But you need to, as a team, get together, make a decision, even if it's not a great decision. As long as you're doing it together, that's okay. We see so many times pushes that never really work. As long as you do it as a team, perfectly fine. I don't know how Fizzerb is still alive, by the way.
He is just double jumping and causing so much havoc and chaos.
Right, he just caused so much chaos for Boreal. It's really the story of this first hardpoint.
Yep, and as well as that, you got Neslo 37 and 29. You got John 30. He drops his 40th kill. Dito's 2 kills away. You got 5 seconds left. Potentially every single player on SB could have had a 40 bomb. That really, that tells you a lot about this game.
I mean, Neslo with a fantastic game as well. Didn't really talk too much about it. I think he finishes 38 and 30, I believe, with 16 captures of the hard point. Yeah, so he finishes 38 and 30, 16 captures of the hard point, just doing a great job of forcing battles in that hill.
I mean, you saw that 3-piece that he managed to get in that first rotation where he broke the hard point pretty much by himself.